I I still really don't know why I have a tendency to laugh as soon as I start as soon as I hit the record button. There's this like nervous energy that washes over me. Like I haven't done this 229 times already. It is Monday. It is September 12th. This week is off to a start. Um, I want to. I debated before turning the camera on like what I was going to talk about today, and I thought about talking about other things, and there's this thing that's on my mind, and I'm going to talk about it because I feel like honesty is the best policy, like 99% of the time. Um, I updated my Facebook and Twitter last night after having a little bit too much to drink, and I said. Watching him love someone else is still an exercise, still a difficult exercise in humility. Uh, and I think this is a fascinating thing that people relate to and struggle with. Like when you have had a relationship with someone and you've had emotions for somebody and you've invested time and effort, and no matter how much time has passed, if the majority of the relationship was healthy and if things were really good, and you ended for mature reasons, uh, it is still difficult to have a moment where you see them with somebody else. And I know in my heart and my brain and all of the important places that, like, it's for the better. And I wish him nothing but the best. And I have there's no part of me that's like, oh my God, I wish we were still together. Like, that's not the thought. The thought is more of like, I guess it's just humility, learning how to embrace humility and recognize that um, somebody else can provide a thing that you couldn't, or that you can no longer. And that's kind of difficult as a human being to allow that to be a reality and to allow that to be true and to be honest with yourself about it. For somebody that like the person I'm talking about, I generally still do care about as a human being, and I genuinely you know the love that I have for them is very different now, but um, yeah. Uh, and on top of that, last night, like this compiled idea that when you find out that someone that you think is just tremendously out of your league at some point had a crush on you, and you're like, oh, what? That is really hard for me to accept for so many reasons, most of them insecurities. Uh, but I guess that's like kind of the tricky dichotomy of being human and living again like stuck in here and not really being able to understand the full perspective of how people perceive you and how we deal with that and like what it means and the times when you recognize like, oh, this is one of those moments where I never even uh, gave thought to how I'm being perceived by this person or by this moment or in this light or collectively in this moment or even here right now when I'm doing this. Again, like I've had like the views on this channel are not what was important to me from the get-go, and I've had a random selection of people just be like, hey, like, you know, I really like your videos. I like your train of thought. I like you, like, just listening to what you have to say. And that, even though I know I'm doing this, right? Like, it's obvious that I am committing to this thing. It's still weird to hear that feedback and to try and kind of process it. I don't know. That's where I'm at today. It's Monday, September 12th. 12th? I hope your week is off to a good start. I will see you tomorrow.